Some fool who needed to die a violent death was poking at his shoulder. Max wanted nothing more than to reach for his sword and slice the idiot in twain. Unfortunately, he couldn't find the ability to even lift his arm. Feeling his fingers twitch, he attempted to lower his eyebrows to look as fierce and deadly as possible. Next, the person tapped at his cheek in a most obnoxious way. "Max, look at us," whispered a voice that seemed vaguely familiar, even though he couldn't place it in his toxic, weakened state of mind. Wishing to swat away the unwanted contact, Max tried to lift his arm but only succeeded in another twitch of his fingers. "We need to get him out of here," said another man softly. "What's the—" "He looks like hell. I don't think we have much time." One of the men cleared his throat and hissed next to his ear. "Max, if you had a choice, whether you lived or died, what would you choose?" Max made a weak, scoffing noise. "I don't have that choice." Those 5 words had scraped their way out, and he didn't know if he could speak any more. "But what if you did?" The man gave him a shake. "There isn't time. Give me your answer." Ignoring them wasn't getting him what he wanted, but answering might. Hoping they'd leave him alone after this, Max pushed out through his dry lips, "Life." This wasn't the kind of death he'd fantasized about. He was supposed to die in a gruesome battle, having saved the king through his valiant heroics, not from some bloody infection. "What did he say?" one of the men asked. To Max, it felt like he'd leaned closer. "He said life." "Are you certain?" "Yes, life does not rhyme with death." "I think we should bite him before we try moving him." "What?" Max felt his insides cringe at the strange twist to their conversation. He must be hallucinating. "Please, God, take me now," he prayed in his head. "I concur." His eyes swung open and Max tried to focus on the faces hovering above him in the darkened chamber. "He's looking. Hurry, show him your fangs." Max blinked and stared at what he assumed was the man's mouth. He had to be hallucinating this entire exchange, for it was just too odd. "Are you showing him?" "Yes, of course I am." A moment of silence. "I don't think he can see them." "Eye contact, then?" "Look at him, Seth. He's completely addled." "Breath, then." First, the shadow of one of the men's head fell over his face. Then cool air rasped against his skin, and he felt himself sink farther into the mattress, as even more coherent thought was snatched from his brain. If he hadn't been completely addled before, he was now. Max felt each of the men lift one of his limp arms from the mattress, and then the coolness of breath, or what he thought was breath, as it touched his wrists just before a slight pinching sensation made him attempt to pull back. He was too weak to even budge.